Daniel Shepp was a very prominent Tamaqua businessman. He made it rich in the famous gold rush of California during the 1860s, relocated back here to Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. I'm not sure exactly why he settled here, but he immediately used his wealth and his connections to make various business deals. He was one of the founders of the Edison Electric Illuminating Company of Tamaqua, along with Thomas Edison. Tamaqua actually was the home of the third municipal lighting system in the nation, following Buffalo and New York City. The reason that Tamaqua was home to this electric system was because we had the wealth of coal reserves locally to easily fire and keep a power plant running. Among his other business interests in the Tamaqua area were operating several coal breakers, the famous Shepp breaker located on Center Street at the south end of Tamaqua, near the present-day Merman Motors auto lot. He also was involved in banking. The Tamaqua First National Bank at Tamaqua, he served once as the secretary and then later as the president of the bank. And he was also involved with some other businesses such as a steam operating mill and other mining and railroad interests in the area. So he was very, very connected. He built, of course, with that wealth, he was able to build a beautiful home here in Tamaqua. And located on East Broad Street at the corner of Pine, his mansion still stands today. It was built in 1888, and it's a beautiful example of eclectic Victorian-style architecture. In 2004, Tamaqua had recently created a National Historic District here in Tamaqua, which encompasses 55 blocks, about 3/4 of our community, and 958 properties. One of those properties in the center of town, near the center of the town, is the famous Shepp Mansion, built by Daniel Shepp in 1888. Daniel Shepp built this home using his prominence and his wealth to build a very elaborate, eclectic style Victorian home, which still stands today in its original state on the outside. The house in 2004 suddenly became threatened when a local church, actually in the neighborhood, had proposed purchasing the home from a lawyer who had occupied the house and demolishing it for additional parking for their church. This created quite a dilemma in the community. We had a church that we certainly want to support as good community leaders, but we also had a responsibility to preserve our local history and also to preserve important key landmarks within our historic district boundaries. So we carefully had conversations with the church about possible ways to mitigate that they could get parking and we could preserve the home. And the final outcome of that is the Tamaqua Area 2004 partnership was able to purchase the Shepp home. And we actually leveled the rear yard area, which included an old garage and some trees, and actually created a parking lot for the church at the rear of the home while still maintaining the house at the front of the property. So that is still the situation today. We now have a macadam lot at the rear of the property, which is used primarily for the purposes of the church, and the house has been fully preserved and actually restored on the outside and the inside, and is today once again an active part of downtown Tamaqua, and actually probably one of our most beautiful examples of Victorian homes along Broad Street.